crisis and economic depression, small business owners often struggle with making sales and keeping the loyalty of their people, because if you ain't selling, it's hard to pay the bills. On the Ethical Sales Podcast, you will learn new ways to selling ethically and communicating with your people to create more loyalty and getting out of the rut of stress and frustration. When there is plenty of sales, there should be plenty of profits to keep things flowing smoothly and everybody be happy. You know, so you hear these ads that they have this sleepy sounding voice that says, all right, tonight on your sleepy stories, we're going to take you into the mountains. No, and they go into some story, you know, and people listen to them and fall asleep by them. Really? Yeah. Yeah. It's on YouTube. You can watch them. Are the stories like interesting? I don't know. I didn't listen to them. I just heard the ads. They're like, you know, and they talk in this sleepy voice, and it's just story time. My biggest. It's like story time for adults instead of kids. Hey, it might be the new thing. My biggest challenge with those is I can never remember what the story was about. Right, because you fall asleep within 2 minutes. All right. Now maybe you need to start going to bed a little earlier. Now you gotta tell the people what to do because they listen. All right, close your eyes and relax. Just breathe. So this might be one of the traps to watch out for over the next 4 years. I'll tell you one of the traps to watch out for over the next year is get off social media. I took my Facebook off of my home screen because I would just click it. Like if I have 2 minutes, I'm not doing something, I just hit my Facebook and I go through my feed. And we do have a roofing group on Facebook, and I still get on there and I check that. But I took my Facebook off my home screen. I put it on the very last screen on my phone. So I have to like swipe 4 or 5 over and I literally have to search for it, and I find it and I get on there, and I'm not kidding. I literally spend like 10 minutes a day on Facebook right now because of all the drama and the people and all their woe stories and all that. And I find for me, it does not help me mentally be a good leader. It doesn't help me mentally keep my energy where it needs to be. And to be really honest, like for a month, I was just like, before this whole election was over and all this kind of stuff, I'd read all these woe stories from the people that, put their opinions on Facebook. And I'm just like, man, I'm just depressed about this whole situation. When I took it off and I quit plugging into that, you know what? I have more energy. And I think we just have to know and discipline ourselves on what is dragging your energy down and what is keeping it where it needs to go. Because you're not going to go change that. We're not going to go change the political agenda of, what they're doing and all these kind of things. I can make a difference in my own life, but I need to know what puts my energy up and what takes it down. That wasn't even on here that we were going to talk about, but I do think it's really important. Like if you find it dragging your energy down, don't get on it so much. Why don't we just pause right here for about 10 seconds and give everybody a minute? I'm trying to do it on my phone. Give everybody a minute to move their Facebook off their home screen. I'm trying to do it. It keeps going back on my home screen. Maybe while you're at it, delete tweet or two. I have a Twitter account and I haven't been on it for years. I get like bogged down with too many forms of communication. Isn't there anymore. Yeah, good job. Awesome. Great job. So you avoided that trap going forward. It actually robs you of a lot of money, a lot of time. That's right. And you don't think about it because you become so habitual. Like how much time are you spending on Facebook? If you put that exact same, or social media, whatever your trap is, but if you put that same time back into something productive, what could you actually get for the time that you spent? If you're honest with yourself, it becomes a very costly thing to do. I'd say if you're going to be on social media, figure out a time you're going to be on, schedule it into your calendar, be on for 10 minutes. And if you're going to be on social media, do it to put out value and actually create posts that help other people, serve other people, and then get off, otherwise stay off. Yep. I'm with you 100%. In today's world, we have all these new technologies. I mean, we were talking about Clubhouse, and you sent me another app the other day, Owen, and find me on Clubhouse at Owen Schrock. I set up an account at Elias Raber. If you're not careful, like there's so many ways of communicating on these different forums that pretty soon half your time is just spent trying to keep up with messages that are sent and all these things. And so, getting super focused and saying, hey, you know what, I'm not going to let those things be a distraction. I'm going to use them for a tool, but that's it. Because you have to get super focused. In today's world, you got to get super focused. Protecting your time. What are some other traps to watch out for? I think finances is a big one. Oh, and you brought that up this morning and we talked about that a little bit. Set money aside. Don't eat all your money. You don't know what the future has. I mean, 2020 was an amazing year in our roofing business. 2019 was an amazing year in our roofing business. And I think people thought maybe 2020, like the building industry would go down a little bit, but it's went up, which is kind of crazy. But you don't know when you're going to have a slow year. And I think if you're doing things right, I don't think you have to have a slow year, but I think preparing and saying, you know what, I'm going to put some money aside for a rainy day, whether that's personal money. I'm going to put some money aside in my business for a rainy day, for marketing. I saw people last year put money, like literally stop their advertising, and people that did really good in 2019 struggle in 2020. They're like, man, it was just a tough year. Yeah, of course, because you didn't do the same things you did in 2019. But then I saw people do really well. People that actually didn't do great in 2019 put money into it in 2020 and do really well with it in 2020. Don't look at the whole world situation too much and let that get in your head too much.
It's easy on the advertising side of things. I think it's easy for people, especially small businesses, to look at marketing as something they can turn on and turn off. I think the businesses that turn it on and turn it off as they kind of need it, that's part of the reason that they stay small or maybe have a problem with growth. Is too many times when we see the need to turn it back on, it's a little late, because it takes some time typically for marketing to turn around and actually come back into your pocket. And so you might sit there with not a lot to do when you wish that, maybe you would have just kept your marketing going. So I'd encourage anybody, market in the good and the bad times. Just keep it rolling, put it on the board, and just make it a scheduled thing. If you're in our space, a lot of guys are doing flyers. They're sending flyers out. Instead of just sending one batch out and seeing what happens, schedule to send one every other month and consistently hey, that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to budget. It's also going to help you push money aside to pay for those things when you know that it's an upcoming expense. So I think in that way, your small business can actually start experiencing growth that you might have not experienced before, help you get up to a mid-sized business or eventually a larger business. And I assume there's a lot of people out here that have small businesses today, and it's not really their goal to stay small, but for some reason they're staying small. Well, that's just one little thing that's very easy. It's not hard. It's elementary. Every one of you can do consistent marketing, consistent leads, consistent new money, new people you're getting to know. That's how you grow your business.
That rolls right into our closing thought. Another small trap, and that's complacency.
Yeah, it's an easy place to get to. Like becoming complacent or, looking at the events around you and getting discouraged, or what's the use and all those things. Continuing to get out there, keeping your energy where it needs to be, staying hungry. Like those are so important keys to continued growth in your business.
It's great to be aware of what's going on. Don't go, put your head in the sand, but don't react to it either. It's smart to prepare for whatever might come. Put some money aside, whatever preparing means to you, prepare. Don't be blind, but then don't sit around waiting for things to happen.
That's right. And if you think it's going to get bad or you think it's going to slow down, that's when you need to pick it up. Like go double your amount of time in your business or whatever. That's when you need to go out. There's always, through a slow time, there's always people that are going to sit back. Guess what that does? It gives the person that gets out there more opportunity.
Get out there and just keep doing life. Be smart, but keep doing your thing. Just keep doing your thing. I don't think you'll ever regret that you did too much, but most of the times it's the other way around. Early last year, some of our roofers were shut down, and they spend a month or 2 months literally doing whatever they wanted to do, go fishing or whatever. And that's all great for 2 weeks. But after a month of fishing, you realize that I feel horrible about myself. Mm-hmm. I've not been productive. It's when you're the most productive is when you feel the best about yourself. It's when you feel energized. It's when you're interacting with other people. You get your energy from other people more than you get from anything else. Stay in the game. Yep. Be smart, but stay in it. Keep rolling. Keep moving forward.
You don't ever get to hit the pause button and come back where you stopped. Like, it doesn't work like that in life. It doesn't work like that, raising your family. It's like, I love the stage our family's in right now, but it's not like, I can hit a pause button on my family and go build my business and then come back someday and take my family on where I paused. And it works like that in your business as well. You don't get to hit a pause button and stop the flywheel. And then when you want to get back, just hit play and it keeps going. You have to now push again to get that flywheel going. But when that flywheel's going and things are going smoothly, You want to keep it going. And usually it's pretty easy to keep it going, but when you stop it, it's really hard to get it going again. So you want to keep that flywheel going. If you feel like it's going to slow down, take it up a notch, take your advertising up a notch, get out there a little bit more, put a couple more hours a day in, whatever you got to do. Thanks for listening to the Ethical Sales Podcast. You don't have to put that part in.
This episode was brought to you by JB Foaming and Vac Services. If you're a roofing contractor looking for rock removal, gravel removal from a roof, simply reach out to JB Foaming and Vac Services at 330-680-1232. Again, reach out to JB Foaming and Vac Services at 330-680-1232 or find them on Facebook. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on Apple Podcasts.
This episode was hosted by the Max Potential Podcast Network. Find more great shows at maxpotential.com.